seated. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and graduating seniors, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 51st commencement ceremony of Franklin University, Switzerland. Today is a very special moment in the life of Franklin. It is first and foremost a day of celebration as we recognize the accomplishments of our senior class and our graduate students. Because of the current challenges, health challenges, we will do this in 4 separate ceremonies. Yes, 4 ceremonies, but make no mistake, we are one. One community, here to celebrate you, to celebrate each other, and to celebrate Franklin. Each of you should be very proud of what you have accomplished and what we are about to celebrate. And we, as an institution, as Franklin, are justly proud of you as well. These are challenging times, and I don't want to belabor an issue about which we've all been too aware. Today is a day of celebration, and I urge us all to look to the future. Things are getting better. Working together in a spirit of collaboration, we are returning to normality. We have remained open as a university. We have been there for you, our students, and we have been there for each other as well. Our community has remained resilient and safe. And if there's nothing else that we have learned in this past year, a year that certainly has been one of the most challenging in recent history, it is that we need each other, that we need to work together as a community in order to flourish. These are the times that will test our values. And today, in celebrating you, our graduates, we are indeed celebrating those values as well. Civil discourse, transparency, sustainability, but most of all, social responsibility. Today's graduation ceremonies are by necessity smaller events that physically separate us from each other and that separate us from our families and friends who are, I hope, watching online. But this is no less real as a ceremony that celebrates your achievements and our belief in you. In our 51st year, we are we're honoring our past, but we're also looking to our future. We're constructing a new building that will serve as a modern, new student residence, student center, offices for student life, a home for the Taylor Institute, an expanded Tone Athletic Center, as well as new classrooms and conference spaces. We continue to innovate with new undergraduate programs, as well as 2 new master's programs. Our faculty are accomplished teachers, but also active researchers, and we hold fast to our values as an institution that connects the liberal arts to professional pathways. Graduating seniors, you have met the academic challenges of the institution, and we celebrate you today. But this is also a moment to reflect that you have not done this alone. Your success has been supported by our faculty and staff, by our institution, and you have also succeeded because of the support of your families and your friends. The families that we wish could be with us are connected by technology that we can still stand up and thank them with our applause. So let's stand up, clap, and feel free to cheer as well, and celebrate our families, your families and friends. We really wish that they could be with us today. Each of you during your stay at Franklin has also been assisted, encouraged, advised, sometimes even cajoled, I think, by the faculty members here at Franklin who have been your biggest fans, watching you grow and eventually succeed. The faculty-student relationship is at heart of the Franklin University experience. So at this point, I would like to ask you, our graduates, and you don't have to stand again to do this, but please recognize with your applause the faculty members who have done so much to ensure your success. I am also very grateful to our staff. They work often behind the scenes to make things happen, like this graduation, for instance. Franklin would not work without them, and they deserve our thanks as well. And finally, there are our trustees. Their support, their wisdom, their generosity allows us to surmount our challenges. They cannot be with us in person today, but I know they are watching, and I want to express our collective institutional gratitude to all of them. It's therefore really a great pleasure for me to introduce Franklin University's Chair of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Kim Hildebrandt.
Thank you, President Wooden. Dear graduating class of 2021, dear parents, fellow trustees, distinguished faculty, administration, staff, and all live stream followers, a warm good afternoon to you all. Un caloroso buongiorno anche ai nostri illustri partecipanti della lingua italiana ed è con immenso piacere che vi do il più cordiale benvenuto alla nostra cerimonia di laurea. Today is an incredibly special day for you graduates, and I can assure you that the Board of Trustees, administration, faculty, and staff all wholeheartedly share with you the joy and excitement which this year's commencement ceremony brings with it. While the social distancing guidelines still prevent us from having our customary commencement ceremony, we are just so profoundly grateful and relieved that we this year at least can have an in-person ceremony, as opposed to last year due to the terrible global outbreak of the pandemic. Class of 2021, I commend you for reaching the great milestone of graduation, and new interesting life experiences now lie ahead of you. As you all now turn the page on what we hope was an important, rewarding, and memorable chapter of your lives, and enter into what we all expect and pray will soon be a post-pandemic world, we hope that you will take with you all that you have learned whilst at Franklin and treasure and hold it within your heart. You've worked hard, and your commitment to excellence has been exemplary. Now, however, the time has come for you to transform this academic knowledge into the tools necessary to identify your next pathway. You've been taught to be creative, imaginative, to think originally and unconventionally, and not to be afraid to push boundaries. But most of all, also to be respectful and open to other ideas, and to accept and embrace the different. It is my strong personal belief that the possession of those qualities and values can transform individuals into real citizens of the world, capable of adapting to any circumstance and challenge. Independent of which pathway you decide to embark on, I can assure you that all of us within the Franklin family, independent of our roles, will be so immensely proud of you, as will also be your parents, family members, and loved ones. Please join me now on behalf of my fellow trustees in extending a warm applause of gratitude to President Greg Warden and Vice President and Dean of Academic Affairs, Sarah Steinert-Barella, and the entire remarkable faculty and staff of Franklin for their tireless and true dedication with which they transmit academic learning, as well as attentive and thoughtful consideration to all of our students. I'm going to ask you to kindly join me once again in a round of applause, this time dedicated specifically to Vice President and Dean Sarah Steinert-Barella, also affectionately known to many of you as Dean SSB, as she'll be leaving Franklin this summer after 16 years of true devotion to the institution and its students to pursue a new and well-deserved professional challenge. Sarah, thank you for all that you've done, and please know you'll be deeply missed. I'm going to conclude my message to you all, as I've always done at every commencement ceremony, by reminding you never to forget your Franklin family, as we will never forget you. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Hildebrandt, for those words of inspiration. I would now like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the accomplishments of our faculty. First and foremost, I would like to acknowledge Professor Sarah Steinert-Barella, who is stepping down as Vice President and Dean of Academic Affairs to take up new challenges for Virginia Tech, the Stager Center in Riva San Vitale. Dean SSB, as we all know her, came to Franklin in 2005. In the 16 years that she has been with us, she has become a veritable institution. An accomplished scholar, she is also an exceptional, rigorous, and caring teacher. Despite the burdens of administration, she has remained connected to students and has made a lasting contribution to a generation of Franklin students as an advisor and as a mentor. She has worked tirelessly for Franklin in so many ways, most recently through the compelling and transparent weekly COVID updates, not only to students, but to our entire community, that have seen us through this difficult year. I have appreciated her counsel and her advice, and we will all miss her. The only good news that I can think of in all this is that she will be just down the road, so to speak, so we will stay in touch. Professor Sarah Steinert-Barella, Sarah, thank you for all that you have done for Franklin. Two faculty members have retired or are retiring and deserve special acknowledgement. Professor Zanekia will be recognized in the next ceremony. But now it's my great pleasure to recognize Professor Sanja Dudukovic, who represents a veritable institution as well here at Franklin. She has taught Franklin students for 30 years. Beginning her career in fall 1991, Professor Dudukovic was named Associate Professor in 1995 and full Professor of International Management in 2005. She has led more students than we can count through statistics, computing, quantitative methods, management science, and most recently data mining and business intelligence. As the recipient of the Franklin Award for Excellence in Teaching on multiple occasions, she has had a positive and lasting impact on her students. She has also led the way in faculty research and publications. Her long-term theoretical research interests include non-Gaussian time series modeling, entropy maximization information theory. We are delighted to bestow upon Professor Sanja Dudukovic the title of Professor Emerita. I should also acknowledge Professor Corinne Young, who has led our SMIM program and is retiring this year. She was thanked in the previous ceremony. I also want to make note of the contributions of Professor Palumi Dasgupta and Professor Andrea Terzi as we graduate our first group of Master of Arts students in Political Economy in December 2021. Thank you, Professors Terzi and Dasgupta, for developing this program and shepherding our first class this year.
Mr. President, I now have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Will the candidates please stand? On behalf of the faculty, I certify that these persons have completed the required course of study at Franklin University, Switzerland, or will do so by the end of summer 2021 semester, and they are presented to you for conferring of these degrees at the appropriate time.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, and on the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree to which you are entitled with all the rights and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
You may be seated. The following candidates will receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts. From Lugano, Switzerland, with a major in international management, Giacomo Bianchi.
Congratulations.
From Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, with a combined major in economics and management, Bayadir bin Mahfouz. From Seattle, Washington, USA, with majors in international banking and finance and international economics with an emphasis in political economy, and graduating summa cum laude, Sant Marta Pual. Santa has been selected as the outstanding student in economics and finance. From Key Biscayne, Florida, USA, and Lugano, Switzerland, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, and graduating cum laude, Marina Boraski. From Catania, Italy, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, Ginevra Chiara Indelicato. From Copenhagen, Denmark, with a major in international management, Clara Krohn Forup.
Well done. Congratulations.
From Lugano, Switzerland, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, and graduating summa cum laude, Letizia De Lorenzi. Letizia has been selected as the outstanding student in international management. From Vega Baja, Puerto Rico, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, Sebastian Del Ria Sepulveda.
Congratulations.
From Piacenza, Italy, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, and graduating magna cum laude, Anna Ferrari. From Lausanne, Switzerland, with a major in international management, Daniela Frey. From Lugano, Switzerland, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, Alessia Teresa Galpeviani.
Not easy on the grass, huh?
From San Pedro Sula, Honduras, with a major in international management, Daniela Gerber Wong. From Rostov, Russia, with a major in international banking and finance, Lilia Grigoreva. From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, USA, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, Kaylee Hogan.
Gotta love the cap.
From Issaquah, Washington, USA, with a major in international economics, Abigail Jones.
Congratulations.
From Dubai, United Arab Emirates, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, Maria Kime.
I think you've had the longest walk of all here. Congratulations.
From Mecca, Saudi Arabia, with a combined major in Italian studies and management, Dana Mashat. Donna has been selected as the outstanding student in Italian.
Non l'ho fatto dire bravissima, davvero.
From Mexico City, Mexico, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, Oscar Pfeiffer Sanchez.
Gotta give me an elbow.
From Tequisquiapan, Mexico, with a major in international economics with an emphasis in political economy, Andrea Sahagún Peña. From Merlichach in Switzerland with majors in environmental studies and international management and graduating summa cum laude, Peter Max Waskis. Peter has been selected as the outstanding student in international management. We would now just like to take some time to recognize those of our graduates who could not be with us, but are with us on the live stream and in spirit. From Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, Rafaela Bragato. From Minuzio, Switzerland, with a major in international management, Samuele Colombo. From Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, Huda Nadra. And from Tehran, Iran, with a major in international management, Arkshan Shamzadeh. Congratulations to all the graduates.
I need a prop for this one. So, this is a moment when now, as official graduates, you take your tassel and move it from right to left. Congratulations again. Professors Bucher and Professor Terzi will now introduce this year's valedictorians. This is going to be on screen, so it'll take a few minutes, not a few minutes, a few seconds, I hope, maybe 10 or 15 seconds or so, to get this going for us so that we can all see it and live streaming as well. Bucher and Professor Terzi will now introduce this year's valedictorians. This is going to be on screen.
Two valedictorians for the class of 2021, Miss Mariam Sissi. Born in Switzerland and having grown up between Neuchâtel and Zürich, Mariam quickly developed a passion for learning languages and for traveling around the world, making friends along the way, not least during her study abroad experience in Bogota, Colombia. But rather than just going places, Mariam makes a difference to wherever she is, and she certainly made a difference during her time at Franklin. Here, I have experienced Mariam as a highly talented and intellectually outstanding student that approaches challenges with a positive can-do attitude. Focus and dedication, the ability to independently overcome obstacles, and to do so while remaining humble and uplifting others, concisely describes how students, staff, and faculty have come to know Mariam. Her willingness to not only critically engage the world around her, but to also continuously examine our own conceptual limitations makes her a young scholar with immense future potential. Equally important is her ability to work for positive change in a hands-on way. I feel these aspects will reflect in both her senior project for her Communications and Media Studies major and her senior thesis, which she wrote as an international relations major. Her communications project focused on internal and external communication processes in very small businesses and was based on an internship experience in her hometown. Her IR thesis successfully conducted an ideographic analysis of anti-political correctness discourses during the 2016 presidential campaign. This thesis is hands down one of the best pieces of scholarship I've ever seen at the undergraduate level anywhere. And I think this can be said of her overall academic performance as well. I could go through a long list of contributions Mariam has made during her time at Franklin, but I would rather like to tell you more about what Mariam is doing today. Mariam is currently located in Dakar, where she works with the producer of a podcast named Afrotopics. They have recently created an association called Génération Afrotopia, and they are at the moment raising funds to create their own studio. Their ongoing goal is to collect living memories and to broadcast emancipatory knowledge to rethink and build tomorrow's future. At the moment, Mariam is beginning to more closely study the practices, discourses, and politics of environmental questions from the perspective of the Global South, and to develop answers which elude us within the confined frameworks of Western societal models. This is without a question an important contribution to dealing with a challenge that impacts all of our lives. I look forward to seeing Mariam's work unfold, and I truly believe that the way Mariam engages the world is exemplary and exactly what Franklin is about. To my mind, Mariam is about knowledge that makes a difference, kindness that uplifts, and dedication that inspires through example. Please welcome with me Ms. Mariam Cissé.
Good afternoon and congratulations to the graduating class of 2021. It gives me great pleasure to present this year's valedictorian speaker, Sanpratap Boal. I first met Santa, as is best known, in my macroeconomics freshman class. He seemed perfectly comfortable since day one, and he quickly proved himself as a hardworking student, yes, and yet more than that. An expression that my colleagues and I often shared to describe him is Santa is always on top of things. In that first course in economics, he scored a rare and rather exceptional 104 points out of 100. And excellence of this kind in that freshman course is consistently an indicator of future academic success. Santa had decided to apply to Franklin in the aftermath of a major US political event in November 2016, when he felt, confused. And he considered that that was the right time to explore what he had long in mind: to get as far as possible from home, 9 time zones east, to experience diversity, exploring the world, stepping out of his comfort zone. And diversity he found at Franklin, where he has been an active member of the community, admissions ambassador since his sophomore year, vice president of the Middle Eastern Club, president of the Student Government Association, in which role he effectively worked to further improve communication with the Board of Trustees. In all these functions, Santa proved to be honest, generous, unpretentious, thoughtful, kind, often tutoring students informally in economics as well as in business. Always quietly and resolutely determined to accomplish the goals he had set for himself. Always on top of things. Starting next fall, Santa will study as an international lawyer, after being admitted to the University of Washington School of Law Juris Doctor program. And I can already envision Santa as the lawyer, negotiator between Big Pharma and the White House, or between the UK and the EU Commission. The main focus of his academic work was the major in political economy, where he says he found the perfect mix of different teaching styles and different expertise. My colleagues and I feel very pleased and proud to have served him well. It gives me immense pleasure to present to you a truly exceptional graduate. This year's valedictorian, a double major in international economics and political economy, international banking and finance, Sanpratap Boal.
Good afternoon. I know this will sound ironic since this is a video recording filmed between Lugano and Dakar, but dear class of 2021, here we are. This is our graduation ceremony, the moment we've both anticipated and dreaded for the past 4 years. Before anything, we wanted to thank the many people involved in making these years the experience they were. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you to the Franklin staff, the faculty, the administration, trustees, and our families and friends. Santa and I are both honored to be your speakers today, honored to be the chosen representatives of our class, and honored to get a chance to laud ourselves for the next 5 minutes or so. We all know that Franklin is not a place where one can find themselves by coincidence or by default. It is a peculiar place where we chose to spend integral and foundational years of our lives.
Almost 4 years ago, most of us arrived at Franklin for the first time. Some of us were exhausted from traveling, some of us were excited, and all of us were probably asking ourselves if this was a good idea. During our first few weeks in Lugano, I remember going to bed every night and thinking, this is my life now, and these are my friends now. We were all very different people back then, yet somehow collectively decided to make this our life. During that first week of orientation, our class had already begun to knit ourselves together into the community that we're all proud to be a part of today. Now, of course, not everyone is here with us today, and we've all had to say some painful goodbyes along the way. But in the midst of farewells and challenges, every semester we met new people, explored new cities, and on Tuesday nights went back again and again to the pub. We have maintained the energy and excitement we felt freshman year, and these experiences really summarize two important sides to who we have become. First, we learn, we adapt, and we fall down, we turn to our friends. Each of us here today can tell stories about the friends we have fallen in love with at Franklin. We're all pursuing that which enthralls us, and I'm so grateful that we're able to collectively embark on that journey. But more importantly, my fellow travelers, we are a family. Regardless if we agree or disagree, laugh or cry, we are together, and we always celebrate together.
While we all intended to enroll in university, little did we know that we had also signed up for a full-time school of life whose learning curve is sometimes as steep as the walk up San Salvatore. Franklin's immersive learning environment allowed and forced us to learn from our professors, but also from the context in which we found ourselves, high recycling, from the many places we traveled to, and most importantly, from each other. Living with people from various continents, juggling between cultures and languages, gave us some perspective on ourselves and the world, and we should all take a second to think about the wonderful growth, maturity, and evolution it induced for all of us. We have learned to both stimulate and tame our curiosities by asking the right questions and looking for their answers in the right places, one of which, surprisingly, was a bunker. I, just like Santa, was intimidated by the unknown when I got here. Yet, my years at Franklin taught me to reconceptualize my limitations as horizons which can never be reached, but rather only expanded. The peculiarity of our global home has made the world profoundly familiar and simultaneously bolstered the fascination it holds for us. The learning process was challenging and comfortable, and sometimes even a bit discouraging. But here we are. Together we have weathered through the storms of classes, finals, crazy travels, papers, due dates, and somehow I had a lot of fun doing it. And look at us now. It's almost as if being here for so long has turned us into Swiss knives, readily panning out skills such as intercultural social competency, critical thinking and academic rigor, several languages, and intense, indefatigable resilience.
At the start of the speech, I mentioned how many of us questioned if coming to Franklin was the best idea. The past year, I've heard so many people questioning their majors, their classes, and asking if they're actually prepared to go into the world. It's been extremely challenging, and especially with everything going on, I don't think any of us really know what's going to happen in the future. But listening to your capstone and theses, I know for a fact that we're more ready now than we're ever going to be. We spent the last 4 years studying, developing new skills, and gaining unique experiences. We started dozens of clubs, served in every leadership role possible, and in the midst of a pandemic, raised the largest senior gift to date at 27,000 francs, which is incredible, and I salute all of you for that. How many times have we tried to explain the dynamics of our student body to our friends and family back home before giving up? I could go on and on about the particularities of our experiences here forever, but that's not important right now. We've made our impact here, and it's time to go into the world and continue making that impact. Whether you're going to grad school, working, traveling, or honestly don't have a clue what's going to happen in the next few days, weeks, months, or years, know that you carry the greatest strengths of this class with you. Moving forward, we all carry the immutable mark of our experiential education. The capacity to be brave, compassionate, resilient, and incorrigibly hopeful for a kinder and more sustainable future.
We will now let you walk the stage, hopefully proud and inspired. Afterwards, we hope that you take time to thank people, friends, staff, faculty, who made your Franklin years what they've been to you, and who've helped you build a home here. Make sure that you embark gracefully, leaving the right impression on others, yourself, and Lugano. We have represented different corners of the world at Franklin and made a difference here for the better.
It's now time to represent the Franklin class of 2021 around the world. So dear class of 2021, how did we get here?
Together.
I would like to conclude this ceremony with a few remarks of my own. You are now graduates of Franklin University, and in a few minutes you will be able to celebrate this rite of passage. You now hold in your hand a degree from Franklin that tells the world that you are educated. You've worked hard, you should be proud, your family should be proud. But what does that degree mean? It means that we, Franklin, as an institution, believe you have the critical skills and the flexibility of mind and character to succeed in what our mission statement reminds us is an increasingly complex and interconnected world. It is also a world that's changing at an ever more rapid pace. This is why your education cannot be an end in itself. Education must be something that allows you to continue to learn, and through the ability to continue learning, you should be able to succeed at whatever you decide to do. Education goes far beyond mastery of any particular subject. B.F. Skinner, the famous and sometimes controversial behaviorist, said, "Education is what remains when what you have learned is forgotten." To be educated means that you understand that there's still a great deal to learn, that one of the joys of life is that we will go on learning to the end of our days. Education is broad. Education is inclusive. Education is open. With education comes responsibility. Education must include awareness that goes beyond the individual. It must include the understanding that along with privilege comes responsibility. It must acknowledge that your education is not just for you, that it can be something greater that should be of service to others as well. I believe that we have prepared you well. You have now joined the ranks of an educated elite. I hope that as a graduate of Franklin, and as our mission says, you will become responsible, compassionate, and collaborative leaders. We have placed our hopes and energies in you in the faith that you will accept that challenge and that through it you will prosper. Will the graduates please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and friends, families around the world, I present to you Franklin University Switzerland's graduating class of 2021. Please join me in congratulating them. Bravissimi!